Decorating always seems really great at the start. It's great to slap loads of paint on the walls, but see these tricky little bits, they're the ones that drive me mental. I hate it! Anyway, enough of that. It's Wednesday, time to go outside. It's a lovely autumn day and get the vlog together. Vlog 4 coming at you from my back garden where it's a glorious autumn morning, so I thought I'd make the most of the weather while we're still getting it. So Rise, the title for that was because the statue that's at the Broadway roundabout is called Rise. We have the kind of humour here, self-deprecating humour, that has renamed that the Balls from the Falls. I came back and I told Nuala, did you know that the statue was called Rise? And Nuala said, well, I knew it had a nice name. That's something that I've driven past so many times. The kids get really excited when they see that. You know, if we're away somewhere and we're coming back, they know that means that we're nearly home. They also know that we're just about to go under a tunnel if we're leaving Belfast, which is great excitement to them, as it would be, 6.5 and 5 years old. Anyway, I'd driven past this loads and loads of times. You know, I'd seen it lit up at night and I always loved it. Didn't realise you could actually walk right past it, get under it, which is what I did for the vlog. As well as that, there are all these flats that are just deserted right next to it. So you've got Rise, it's about this hope, and then you've got this, what looks like this thing that's just decaying, standing, looming over it. So I thought that the paradox of those two things was quite interesting. I came away and I realised that I hadn't actually shot Rise from a kind of distance so you could see the whole structure. So that was a good learning. I thought to myself I should have broken my shots down and definitely got some of those establishing shots. But also it was kind of interesting because that would have been a very obvious shot to do. It's something that a lot of people would have seen. And I guess everything to do with this is about seeing things from interesting angles. It's a really lovely time of the year where you can see that everything's changing. Nature is just in this massive period of transformation. I'm really enjoying the school drops and then walking home because there's some glorious sights that you can see if you're just looking around, and that's what this whole project's about. The other thing about autumn that is interesting is that I think we can really see a clear change in the season, and there's a part of me that always fears change. I'm quite scared of it, what it means. It means that something's dying, but at the same time something is being born from that. So I've been thinking a lot about that recently, and the whole thing about when we create, and the whole striving to, when we create, leave some kind of legacy. And that's why I love the idea of this 52 weeks of creating these small fragments of what's happening in my life and where I am on these particular times. And that's, I think, what we are doing as artists. We're tapping into that and we're trying to leave something behind, and that's what's so incredible about this kind of medium. I come from a background of theatre and live performance, and that's over. You kind of rehearse, you do a show, that finishes and it vanishes into the ether, whereas there are records of this. And there's something quite nice about that, about me being able to revisit this a year from now and think, goodness, that's what I was doing, or for my children to see this, or somebody the other side of the world to see this. So suddenly I've dropped into a very deep and metaphysical debate about about these wee minute and a half long things that I'm creating. But again, as I seem to be doing, I start chatting about something and I I ramble on to something else. But I think that's quite cool. I like the fact that there's that freedom to just see where the chatting takes me. So, week 5, I've got a couple of ideas. I think it is going to be attached to nature, and it's going to be getting out there and exploring what's on my doorstep. The amazing thing about living here is that you've got so much close by. You've got the mountains, the sea, you've got a city, you've got everything on your doorstep. So I think I'm going to take a wee hike for week 5 and see what I shoot, what that sparks off in my mind in terms of thoughts and ponderings, and that will be released on Friday. Okay, so thank you for checking in with me, and I shall see you all on Monday. Later.